Okay, sorry about 1A. Sorry about the quality of the Google Meet this morning. So listen, here's the deal. I'm going to go over a few things in this quick, and I promise I'll make a quick video, but you are responsible for them. So I'm making this part of your homework, watching this video, because I got to make it. You got to watch it. That's fair. So here we go. We're looking at this ugly one that I wasn't comfortable with teaching before, but I'm comfortable with it now. I made this slide last year and forgot this, but I'm good. So here it is. Right, negative 3x squared minus 18x plus 10 in vertex form. So first thing you're going to do after we write the original equation is remember that we're working with this part to complete the square, just the a term and the b term. So for the moment, we're going to ignore the c term and carry it around. So I can factor a negative 3 out of the a term and out of the b term, and I'll have this. Now, I'm going to complete the square with the x squared plus 6x, which means I'm going to use half of 6, which is 3. I'm going to square it, so 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9 here, but I'm not really adding 9 because I'm multiplying it by negative 3. So I'm really adding negative 27. Okay? Now, the way that it's broken down in writing is that I'm going to add 9 here and understand that it's multiplied by negative 3. And I'm going to put a 9 here that is literally multiplied by negative 3. So in this case, I'm adding 27 and I'm taking away 27. And the taking away is this minus sign right here. So add negative 27, take away negative 27. So now I should have this, because if you look carefully, we've got that 10 minus negative 27, which is 10 plus, which is 37. And we've got this, which is going to be my x plus 3 squared, quantity squared, because that's what I made it out to be, with the negative 3 on the outside. So now, believe it or not, you're done. It's in vertex form. Okay, so that's the first one. And then you should pause this video and do this one to make sure that you're okay with it. Unless we did this in class, I can't recall. I think we did. So if you did, great. If you didn't, now you did it this time. All right, but now you're going to do this one. And I would factor out the negative 3. I'd pause the video and do it myself. Okay, you're back. Let's see. Did you get B? If not, email me for an explanation, and I will. Okay, so now, this is the one that I wanted to do for you by hand, and the problem is that I actually told you I bought a pen for this class, but it's not here, it's home, so I'm going to have to write with my mouse, and my handwriting is bad enough, much less with a mouse. We'll see what happens. All right, but in this case, I'm going to utilize the points I have. I have this point here, which is my y-intercept. That's just, it just happens to be my y-intercept. But because it is, I know that x is at 0. And it says that x is 0 and y is at negative 1. All right, so just for the sake of clarity, this is x, and this is y. So I have another point here. My vertex. I don't know where my pen went. All right, there we go. I've got a vertex right here. And my vertex, I'm just going to say V, is at the point, here we go, at 2, comma, negative 3. They skipped one here. All right, so we're at 2, negative 3. And just for clarity, that is the 2. Now, in the vertex form equation right here, x minus whatever x I'm going to, and y plus whatever y I'm going to. So, in this case, this is my h, and this is my k. So I can rewrite this equation up here with the numbers I got down there. I keep drawing because I don't know where the hell the pen went. So it says that y is negative 1. That's down there somewhere. I shouldn't have done that. All right, and equals, I don't know what a is. That's what I'm trying to solve for. So I'm just going to write over here, find a. That was brave of me. Find a. Whee! All right. And I know I've got a parentheses x, and I'm going to plug in h. What was h? H was 2. It's down here. So h was 2 plus, and k was -3. So plus, remember when you used to do that in grade school, plus minus 3? All right, just remember, be very careful that you know that it's a -3 there. All right, so now I'm going to simplify and solve for a. I'm still trying to find a. So I've got -1 equals, there's a square here. I hope you noticed that I forgot that. So what I've got is -2 squared minus 3. To continue to simplify, I'll have -1 equals, okay, that's 4a, because -2 squared is 4a minus 3. And I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I'm not going to add 2. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I'm going to have 2 equals 4a, or a equals 1/2. So now I can rewrite my equation in this format, only x and y are going to stay x and y because I want it to be available for any x or any y that I input. So what I've got is y, any y that is my output for whatever x I choose, is going to equal 1/2. And then I'm going to have x minus, what was my h? My h was 2, quantity squared, plus, what was my k? My k, minus, make that a minus, that is a minus sign, 3, or plus -3, okay. So, and then I look at my answer choices and I say, aha, that must be B. And there it is. All right, so, okay, this is the long-winded explanation with nice handwriting. I maybe should have gone through it. So the answer is B. And you got it. All right, so now, why don't you guys do this one? You should pause the video and see what you get. And you're back. And just down and dirty, that thing is upside down, so it's got to be negative, right? So without even thinking about it, it should be A. But let's check the rest of it. It's very narrow, so yes, multiplying by 3 is probably a good thing. It's -3. And does it have a vertex at -1, +2? So you go -1, +2. It's looking good for A. And there it is. Yay! All right. Almost done. This is review things. I just need you to be comfortable with these things. That if if I have x squared and I put a +2 inside the parentheses, that thing is gonna go left 2. You have to be comfortable with that. That's what this one says. And if I have x squared and I add 2 outside of the parentheses, that thing is going to go up 2 in the direction I would expect. And if I multiply negative by a -1 times x squared, it's going to flip. I'm reasonably certain all of you are comfortable with that. And if I lost my pen again, all right. And if the absolute value of a, my first term, is greater than 1, for example, say I multiply it by -3, the absolute value of -3 is greater than 1, it's going to narrow significantly, and I'll have a very narrow graph. And if I multiply it by 1/3 or -1/3, in which case the absolute value of a is a fraction between 0 and 1, negative or positive, so say I multiply it by -1/7, it's going to be very wide, upside down because it's negative, and very wide. All right, so you need to be comfortable with those concepts. And yeah, you're going to do this. This is the last thing, I promise. All right, so rewrite the equation in vertex form. Here's our original equation. We're going to factor out the -2. There you go. We've got the -2. Now I'm only going to work with this piece right here, and I'm going to complete the square. So as soon as my clicky thingy works, I'm going to say -2 is my b. And remember, I want b over 2 quantities squared. So -2 over 2 is -1. And that is going to, I'm just going to write it out because I'm sure somebody missed class. So there you go, -1 squared equals 1. So that's what I'm going to add. I'm going to add a 1 in here, but I'm not really adding 1 because it's multiplied by -2. I'm adding -2 to here, so I have to take away -2. So that's my completed equation. If the square is now complete. Psi. All right, and then I'm just going to say 1 minus -2 is 1 plus 2, so that gave me that 3 there. And this really equals x minus 1 squared because I made it so. And I'm done. I have written the vertex equation. So now I have to graph it. Wait, just, there you go. There's your equation, blah, blah. Now I have to graph it. And it's not too bad. I have the vertex. I know if it's going to it's multiplied by a whole number, so it's going to get narrower. I've got an axis of symmetry because the vertex is at 1, 3, so I know that I've got a thing down the middle. And then you plot points. And you should be able to see that the vertex is at 1, 3. It's narrower than your x squared. There's an axis of symmetry here, so I know if I have this point here, that on exactly the other side of my axis of symmetry, I've got this point here. And then you plot points. And that should be it. Can you do this one by yourself? Hopefully you can. Hopefully you did. I should say stay tuned for the answer. But I hope you paused. Did you pause? Did it? Came back? I hope you got B. All right, have a nice day. Your homework was watching this video and finishing the Delta math. And that's it. I'm not going to give you the IXL. Have a good day. Bye. If I could only figure out how to turn these things off.